Taehyung and Jimin were moving toward their car after lunch. They had been friends from some years. They met each other in a charity function. They were shaking hands when Taehyung noticed Jimin's eyes going bigger. Jimin pushed Taehyung to a side. There was a loud bang. He saw some guys quickly getting into car. He noticed the one of the guy was his rival right-hand man. Taehyung looked toward Jimin and saw him on the floor. He was shot in the chest area, the shot which was meant for him. Jimin, he ran toward him and knelt down beside him. Taehyung listened. He shuddered him. Jimin, nothing will happen to you. Just keep your eyes open, he said, while calling for help. Jimin shook his head. Listen, my sister, if something happened to me, take care of her. He knew that Jimin had a sister, but no other relative. Give her your name. She won't be able to face the world alone, Jimin said while holding his hand. He looked at him questioningly. He knew that Jimin's sister was young, but he didn't think she won't be able to face the world. You will understand after meeting her, he said, and he promised to always to be there for her. Jimin to the hospital and thing happened which he is scared of. Jimin went to coma. Doctor explained the bullet wound will recover, but he had hit his head while falling. He can come out of coma anytime. We just have to wait. He has called his men and told them about what happened. It was his mistake that he went out without security. Sir, let us handle it. We will end Jack and his men itself tonight, one of his loyal men said with anger. Attacking their boss wasn't acceptable to him. No, we will deal with it later, as I am expecting they are going to stay hidden for some time now. He said he was a businessman, but that didn't mean he couldn't play mafia. His men, including his security and some were his worker who handled his underworld work. He asked some of his men to stay in the hospital and he himself went to fulfill his promise. had never gone to Jimin's place, but he knew where he lived. Through the whole journey, he was thinking about how he can take care of the situation. A servant opened the door when reached the Jimin place. "I want to meet Jimin's sister," he said in a commanding tone. "Sorry, but who are you? She doesn't meet strangers," servant said in a scared tone. He didn't have time for all this. He entered the house and saw a girl sitting in the sitting area. His breath got stuck for some time. She wore a white long night dress. Her eyes were big, her skin milky white, and her lips looked soft and pink. Ryan was waiting for her brother. She had dialed his number many times, but it was going off. She saw a guy enter the sitting area and got up, being scared. "Lily, who is he?" she asked. "I am Kim Taehyung, your brother friend," he said, and a hopeful smile lit on Ryan's face. Her smile vanished when Lily said, "He can be a lying Ryan." "You are coming with me," he said while looking at her big grey eyes. Why would I come with you?" she asked. He signed. He could understand what Jimin was talking about. She couldn't able to be survive alone in the house with servant. Hurting her would be the easiest thing. Her eyes emotion could be seen easily on her face. "Your brother is fine, but he can't come home for some day. You have to come with me," he explained. "I won't," she shrieked while moving beside Lily. He knew that this wasn't going to be easy, and for having complete authority and rights, he has to marry her. He asked his man to bring a priest. Lily and Ryan tried to move outside the house, but Taehyung showed them his gun and made them sit on a sofa in front of him. In an hour, everything arranged. Lily was taken outside the house. By then Ryan was weeping. Taehyung looked into her eyes and said, "If you ever wanted to meet your brother, then sign the paper." Ryan was already very scared. She agreed without even understanding what she was doing. The young man told Lily about the whole situation and told her to go to home. But Ryan won't be able to manage with all stranger, Lily said in a worried tone. Sir will handle her. You don't need to worry about that. And anyway, ma'am is now in Sir wedded wife. She is his responsibility. Lily didn't want to leave her wine alone, but she didn't have any option. She packed a bag for clothes for wine and left. Taehyung and Ryan was sitting in his car. His men were going to lock the house. I don't want to go anywhere, she whimpered. Her nose and cheek were flushed from crying. He didn't look at her. You are going to stay at my place for some day. My mom is also there. Don't worry, your brother will be back soon. It was past 1 a.m. when they reached Taehyung place, and the watchman and the maid who opened the door was shocked to see their boss with a girl. He ignored their eyes and took her to a guest room. Sleep, mom must be sleeping right now. I will introduce you in her morning, he said and left the room. He took a deep breath and went toward his room. Ryan couldn't sleep whole night. She was missing her brother and feeling awkward. In the morning, she was brushing her hair when Taehyung knocked at the door. She quickly went and opened the door. I went toward the dining room. Mrs. Kim was already there. Mom, she is the sister of my friend Ryan. She will stay with us for some day, he said while sitting down. Ryan was fighting badly. Mrs. Kim asked her to sit beside her and touch her cheek while smiling. Ryan, you are really an angel face. She blushed and started looking down. Mrs. Kim filled her plate herself. She was happy to have someone with her. I can't eat this much, auntie, she said softly and took a toast, and she had liked Mrs. Kim intensely. After the death of her parents when she was 12, she hadn't been near any elder. It was usually her brother around her. Taehyung left the house after breakfast. He went to hospital to check Jimin and then went to his office. He called at home once during the day, check on his mom and Ryan. He was satisfied after knowing that they were spending their time together. He went home late at night and saw Ryan sitting in the lounge. She quickly stood up after seeing him and looked at him expectantly while twisting her finger. Is there something you need? He asked while moving toward her. She shook her head and then looked into his eyes with tears in her eyes. When will brother come to take me? His eyes went a little bigger, seeing tears in her beautiful grey eyes. Someone said something to you. Did anyone hurt you? He asked with a suppressed anger. She shook her head. No, I am just missing brother. I am not used to live alone, she said in a childish manner. You are not alone here. Try to relax and your brother will come soon, he said in a deep voice. She tried to act upon his advice. She was missing her brother, but she had also started loving to spend her time with his mom. All the servants were also very nice. They all treated her with a respect and adoration due to her baby-like nature. Next afternoon, he got a call from Mrs. Kim. She was asking him to come home. When he reached home, he saw a maid outside Ryan's room who told her that Mrs. Kim was there. When he entered the room, he saw Ryan's head hidden in Mrs. Kim's lap. There was a low sound of hiccups. Mrs. Kim was looking worried and tried to make Ryan quiet.